And I think we're live. Let's go. If you can hear me or you can see me, let me know in chat. I'd love to know where you're watching from today. Cool. Hi, my name is Harry Roper. If you didn't know, I work at a company called Imaginary Space. We're an AI product studio building stuff for founders and enterprise companies across the board. In today's stream, what are we building? Well, I don't know if you've seen in the previous episode, but we did this series called 6 Devs Build One Project. The idea being that each week or each day, we pass the project from one developer to the next. Now, this is really fun because each developer doesn't see what the previous developer did. So they have to go off of the notes and try and get the app to a fully finished state. Obviously, the goal for us is that we launch this app on the market if we can. We didn't manage to achieve that with the last one, but we got pretty fast. So I'm hoping this time we can get a lot further. I'm actually kicking off the process this week. So I'm starting with the project. Now, if we go into GitHub, you can see all I've been given is this GitHub with a README. And if we go through it, we can see it's 6 devs, one project. We have a dev log and then a handoff template as well. So we've got the GitHub repo, which is cool. We don't have it hosted yet. There's an idea list, which I'm going to open up and have a look at in a minute. Let's just add that as another slide. And then let's look at the research that was done as well. So just looking at the rules and quickly going over it, keep it short, only include what matters, and create a log. And then what I've got to do after I finish the session today is I'm going to create a log, then the next dev's going to pick it up. We're going to go through 6 devs until we get to a point where we finish. So what are we building is my next question. I'm going to look at some of these ideas first. And if you guys have any ideas of what we could build, let me know in chat as well. I like this already. Custom training videos from SOPs. Virtual pop-up shop creator, that's cool. An event vibe matcher. That's quite cool. There's some virality around this as well, like using your Spotify tracks and Instagram posts to get like some sort of insight into yourself. A freelance rate radar. DIY home repair tutor. What do you think, chat? Any that you like? Awesome. I'm going to keep looking through. You know what? These ideas are pretty good. Okay. I have to fill out the research, I guess. What I'm going to do is go to ChatGPT first and put these ideas in here. And then I'm going to say, here are some ideas I am researching for my app I want to build. Can you go through each idea, do some research, and determine the best idea for go-to-market, which is GTM, and virality, because we want to obviously get some virality from it as well. I'm going to send off a deep research agent to do this. So this is OpenAI's tool where we can give it a prompt. And then it's going to go and do some research for us. So first of all, our ideal timeline for launching the MVP is going to be within the next 4 weeks. So it's going to try and consider that. Okay. Are you targeting a specific audience segment for any of these ideas, SMBs? IDK, find out for me the best target based on the best idea. I'm building it myself. I don't know why ChatGPT is asking for that, but it's just a classic. User growth at this stage / money. And then number 5, any platforms or ecosystems you prefer to integrate with, web, Shopify. So it's going to be a React, Vite, Tailwind app, Vite coded. Okay. I like this about deep research because it does ask a couple of follow-up questions that maybe you didn't think about. So now what it's going to do is it's going to go send off an agent to the web to do some research for us. So whilst that's cooking through, let's get the project here. So I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to go to Cursor. And we're going to create a new project. So I'm going to go to File, New Window. And then we're going to clone the repo. Cool. Let's get this one. We're going to put it on my desktop. Cool, that should clone that. In the meantime, another prerequisite that I'm going to do is I want to set up a Supabase project for this so that we can connect the project to its own backend, handle login. Hopefully that's a step for the guys as well to not have to worry about. We will close this version of Cursor for now. And we're going to click open here to open this one. And we'll let Cursor do whatever it's doing there. We're going to need probably a new organization. I'm going to call this the 6 steps. Organization, personal, create. Okay. It's crying because I've got too many projects in too many internal things. So let's do it under something that I already own. There we go. This is going to be the 6 devs, 1 project. Project name. We can click generate password for Supabase to do that for us. I have to pay $10 a month because I've got too many. If you guys don't have any projects already, it should be free for you if you're copying as well. Okay, this is cool. We're going to want the anon public key. But I'm also going to try and use MCP as well. Okey-doke. This is setting up. Cool. Let's see what if our GitHub research has been doing anything. Cool. So as you can see, it's kind of doing like multi-step of searching online for me. And it's going to go through each idea and try and figure out, is it viral or not? Is it worth our time? Cool, Supabase is being set up. So something simple I'm going to do is go to authentication, sign in providers, email. And we're just going to turn off the confirm with email so I don't have to do that. Nice. And we should have the 6 steps project here, which is cool. Great. Now, here's a little tip if you didn't know, but in Cursor, you can do this in the terminal, which lets you do command instructions. So here I'm going to say spawn in a fresh React Tailwind Vite project. And what's cool about this is that it's going to help write the commands in the terminal. So I don't have to go online and remember exactly what to do. Here we go. Just got it all in. Ignore files and continue. Awesome. So here it's just going to install all of our components that we need. It's going to set up the CSS. So it's looking good. Let's go to bum run dev. And that should launch our Vite server. So now if I open this up, we can see the project's loaded. Awesome. Okay, so let's change up the default view to a style guide page where I can see all of the base components like cards, etc. So I can style them for the app. One of the things we've learned as we've been vibe coding more and more is that it's really good to have a style guide set up before you kind of jump into a project. That way you can follow like a consistent vibe. I think we lacked that last time in the last project. So this time I want to make sure that the devs, they have like a good style guide to follow and a good kind of visual language to follow. That's all going to be dependent on who we're targeting though. So I'm anxiously waiting for our AI agent to finish its research so I can see what we're going to go for. This is really important because the look of our app, as you know, can change dramatically based on who we're targeting. Like if we're targeting old people, then we don't really need to worry about too much of a complex design. But if we are targeting children, for example, as our end user of the application, then we probably want to have something a little bit more colorful, like a neo-brutalism style. So let's just wait for that. And in the meantime, what I've asked Cursor to do is just to help me create a bit of a style guide so that I can have like some components to use. So it's doing that right now. And we'll wait here. In the meantime, I'm going to launch a Claude agent. This is Anthropic's terminal CLI app. So I'm just going to launch that. And you can see it's a bit like Cursor where you can put in prompts, right? So in this case, I'm going to put in a prompt. I'm going to say, make sure Tailwind is enabled and installed in this project. So this is just a sanity check because sometimes I know that when I run those commands, like the project doesn't get set up fully with this. So I just want to make sure that it does work. Also, it looks like we're using JavaScript, not TypeScript. So I want to make sure that that's set up as well. Now you can see here that it's been installed, like Claude picked that up, installed as a dependency, but it's not configured, which was what I thought. So Claude's going to do that. And in the meantime, we've got Cursor like outputting all of the components that we're going to use and creating like a style guide for them, which will be useful in the future because when the guys are creating stuff, they can use these components rather than just creating new components all the time. It's a bit clean dev. Here with Claude, I'm just going to say, yeah, don't ask me again. Do whatever the fuck you want. There you go. And I'll turn auto accept edits on as well, so it can just make its changes without needing me today. Looks like we're making some good progress on the components as well. We've got all of the basic stuff, alerts, badges, buttons, cards, inputs. We could use something like ShadCN if we wanted to, but I don't know about you guys, I'm a little bit bored of ShadCN these days. Every single app looks like ShadCN. Sometimes it's really long to wait for prompts to run. That's what we're waiting for right now. We're going to run Claude here again. Whilst we're still generating the style guide, I'm just going to say ensure components in the app use Tailwind. And we'll run that agent. Kind of cool. We've got two agents running at once doing stuff for us. Productivity. So that's going to go through and just double check all the components, and then if it needs to, add Tailwind to them, so they look a little bit cleaner. So what Claude's doing here is just making sure everything uses Tailwind. I think when I first generated the project, it didn't add Tailwind, which is a CSS framework for making stuff look beautiful. And it didn't add TypeScript as well, which is just another language you can use to code in React. I'll probably have to convert that, but for now, I just want these two agents to do what they're doing. So that's that. Awesome. Let's see if our research is done whilst I'm waiting for that to be done. Oh, close, I think. Did it finish? Okay, so now I'm going to say this is a lot of text in your report. Can you give me a short summary with the best parts? Yeah, I thought this would be the app that would get picked as well. So if you guys remember, we had like a couple of ideas from the other devs. I think this event vibe match is the most interesting one because it's got a real virality hook. You can imagine that people already have this data in their Spotify and their Instagram. So it would be really easy to take that data and then suggest stuff. And it's useful as well, I think. Takes what you like, not what the app thinks you like, and uses that to suggest stuff. So let's do that. I'm going to come to the SQL editor inside Supabase. And they've got some really cool templates. One of the most useful ones is creating a user profile table, which is in the quick starts, I think. Here we go, user management starter. So what this does is it creates a profiles table for us to use. User can insert their own profile, user can update their own profile. And then whenever a new user is added, they will also get added to the profiles table. They also add the ability for users to upload avatar images if they want, and they create a bucket to do that. So I'm going to run that. I trust Supabase, and you'll see here now inside our tables that we have this profiles table, which is exactly what we needed. So I'm just going to come back to the app, and I can see now that everything has been added. Super nice. Got some cards, we've got some form elements, we've got some badges. It's all looking a bit dull at the moment. Alerts, and then a color palette as well. Great. Okay, so the idea that we went for is InstaFest meets Spotify plus Eventbrite. It's going to be Gen Z and millennials who are into music and events. Cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all of this and I'm going to put it in that doc for the other devs to see. And let's make a note for the others. So Harry's research. Note, I ran all ideas through deep research in ChatGPT, and it looked at GTM plan and virality score. The event vibe matcher works well because everyone has an Insta or Spotify account they can use. It's interesting to see what the AI might match for events, and it's likely to go viral on social if it actually provides useful information. Cool. Okay, let's get rid of that. So we're going to be targeting a Gen Z and millennials. So I am Gen Z, so I get to design for myself a little bit, which is cool. We're going to use Dribble here. and we're going to find some shots for app design. This is probably going to be mobile first, I imagine. So other notes, prob's best to focus on a mobile first design so that we can get people on social media and they have a nice experience. Gen Z / millennials means we can focus on a clean aesthetic design similar to what's the meditation app called? Calm? Headspace. Use color, gradients, and other aesthetics. I made a style guide page with components to use across the app. Great. So here's our component style guide. Looks great. Looks like Tailwind just got fucking deleted though. Let's double check this. I'll tell Claude here it looks like Tailwind isn't loading. And then let's go back to our design. And we need a cool design for this app virality. It needs to be a little bit poppy. I mean, if we look at the colors of Instagram, right, and the colors of Spotify, if I go to Mobbin, which is a great tool for looking at what other people are doing on the web, I look at Spotify. It's pretty simple, right? Black, some nice use of color for text. There's a slight gradient at the top that leads to black, and then you have the cards neatly organized. I like that. This is cool as well. That gradient at the top of the page, just to break it up a bit, because it is very simple. The app is just black and white with your UI elements. Okay, let's go back to the app. We're going to hit no, and we're going to exit Claude here. I wonder how much that cost me in credits, should we see? 93 cents, let's go. Okay, clean up the style guide page with a premium layout, focusing on Dieter Rams principles. So Dieter Rams principles are really cool. If you don't know who he is, I always talk about him on nearly every stream, but he was the guy who inspired the design of Apple. He was probably one of the first designers that focused on less is more. And as you can see from this picture, he designed this like timer, and that influenced then the iPod later on. So Dieter Rams was the original, and then Johnny Ive was the designer who kind of took on those principles of what Rams did and made it modern. So we're gonna give ChatGPT this prompt, which says, focus on a premium layout following Dieter Rams principles. And because the AI model's already been trained into who Dieter Rams is, etc., it already knows it's minimal, functional, elegant design. So we're gonna just change up our style guide layout to make it a little bit easier for everybody to see. And then we'll actually start combining some elements together as well. Do let me know if you have any questions in chat. I'll be happy to answer them. We probably don't need ChatGPT anymore. Mobbin is great. I just want to make sure that Tailwind is working in this case, which I don't think it is, but that's okay, because I can ask Claude to help me fix it, and Cursor as well. When I have big problems to solve is we turn on max mode. Warning, with max mode, it's a little bit loud. So let's see. Apologies if you hear the team in the background. I should probably tell them to shut up here. All right, we're coming up to in 25 minutes being the first hour. Not a lot I can do, but I got to start this project. I have all of the base design components so that it's ready to go. I am going to get a coffee though, so I'm just going to take a short break, and I will be right back in a second. Do you mind if you guys keep it down just slightly? Because the microphone from the live stream can hear everything that you guys are saying. Alrighty, we're back. I've got my coffee as well, so we can keep cracking forward. And let's get back into it. So as I was saying, we turned on max mode because Tailwind still isn't loading, and this is like a classic. So ensure Tailwind is loading. Right now, none of the CSS is loading on the style guide page. So I'll let Claude run that. I want to pull up a little TL drawer, which is a whiteboard. And I'm just going to copy out some of this stuff that I like the look of. I mean, it'd be cool if it was like wrapped, right? Where, six devs. This is TL Drawer. If you haven't used it before, I highly recommend it. It's a great little app for just doing quick whiteboarding for free. So it'd be cool if the experience was like a multi-step form, right? So like as the developer goes through and connects their account and stuff, like it just takes them through like this nice step-by-step experience. And then at the end, we could show, where is it, like this. And it could be like, here's where the locations that we recommend. Oh, what? Oh dear. Why is everything disappearing from my screen? Ah. There we go. And I copied a different one as well. Hi, Sam Lee. Cool. Oh wait, whoops, I already got that one. The one I wanted was, yeah, something like this. Okay, I really like the Spotify Wrapped idea now. That's starting to make a lot more sense. So it's this. Let's get our cards together. Okay. Claude's going crazy trying to fix my CSS. So it looks like it tried installing Tailwind 3. Instead, it should have been Tailwind 4. Now it's going to go through and just make sure that my config is correct, and we've got the correct version of Tailwind added. We should see this page reload in a minute. what's cool is I've turned on this mode in cursor settings where I just let it run commands without me needing to say anything. It's called God mode. I find it quite useful. Just don't have it turned on if you don't know what you're doing. It's a good idea. You can make sure that you understand if it's going to run a command, it's not going to delete like your whole project. Cool, looks like it's running this. So I'm just going to stop this, refresh this page. Looks like it's still not running. So let's just do this. Okay, so now no CSS is loading at all. This is a classic. I always run into this problem when asking an AI to set up a Tailwind and React project. I don't know why, but yeah, sometimes it messes up. Okay. We're slowly getting there. So it's actually looked up the docs online. Now it's gonna try and reinstall everything for me, which is cool. Pretty good, handy. It can go online and do some research like that. So we got an error in the dev server here. So I'm just going to run this again. Looks like that's running. Ooh, and it worked. Look at that. Perfect. Woo-hoo-hoo. It's not done that bad a job, honestly. It has not done that bad a job. Okay, let's go back to Spotify and let's look at some of the elements that we like that we want to steal. Okay. So what are we doing first of all? I think we're going to need to get some typography. So let's go to fonts.google.com. This is where we can find some free fonts, so I don't have to worry about the other devs not being able to find it. One of the cool things you can do that I like is you can put the name of what you're trying to build. So this, in this case, it's going to be Instagram, Spotify, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this up a bit. And then we're going to try and find something that fits this app. So Gen Z is our target. So we want something that kind of looks similar to that. And I'm going to look at Spotify's font and what they're using. So sans serif rounded font looks pretty nice though. I like this cut in the H. It's got in that cut in the R. Makes it look a little bit different. Maybe we're going to go with something safe here. Honestly, I think Poppins is a nice choice. I know it's a popular one as well, so let's use it. So what I can tell Cursor here is pretty easy. We'll create a new chat. I'm going to target the style guide, update the global font to Poppins. As well as that, in the style guide, I'm going to go into the code and I want to delete that that Tailwind banner that we've got. Here we are. So I'm just remove that and save that there. So we've just got the style guide. Cool. We're also going to want a color scheme. I'm gonna use Google Material Design here, another really cool free resource online. It's similar to fonts, but you can see here there's some cool styles. So what I want to do is find a color scheme. Like that black one there is really nice, for example. So what I can do is type in material free dark mode color scheme because the app's going to be in dark mode. A dark olive green sounds nice. So if I go to themes, here's a YAML file that he has with all of his colors. There's a lot. So if you will copy that. Dark mode, material UI. This is cool. Maybe I won't use Google. Maybe I will use Google's because it is really nice. But sometimes when I can't find the information that I want, like coming into ChatGPT and just asking it to do an online search is like an easier way. So can you provide me a simple prompt to give to a cursor that will allow it to create a dark mode color scheme material free rules? So it should search the web for me. Okay, this works, but I want actual color values as well, like a good dark olive green theme or something like that. So again, maybe you need to add some refinement to your prompts. Cool, dark olive M3 theme. I'm going to copy all of this. Cool. We'll add this back to cursor. And we're going to say generate a global material design free dark mode color scheme for the app. And then we're going to give it this. I'm also going to turn off max mode. I just realized that's still on and I'm probably burning through credits right now. What are you guys building in Lovable at the moment? Or cursor or vibe coding? What are you trying to build? Interested today? Alrighty, coming up to the first hour of the project. So we started with an empty Git repo. We had a bunch of ideas. I refined that down to this event vibe matcher, which means we can use people's existing data and give them like a little suggestion on places to have an event. We built the basic vibe project and a design system, which I'm slowly putting together now, and a color palette, which I want to put together. In regards to UX and UI, I think following this is pretty cool. Giving them like a Spotify wrapped experience. So you start off with their name, you show them a few facts about what they've listened to on Spotify. Actually, I should probably write this UX flow down. So what you're going to do is you're going to add your Spotify / Instagram account. Data is pulled to your profile, multi-screen experience where we show you cool facts about your data. ask a few questions about your preferences, show you a final screen with events. Everything is in a multi-step form. Cool. Then we chose some fonts. Now I'm just adding a color scheme. Once that's going, I might just look for some cool card designs on 21st Dev. What the hell is file? Very cool. So I'm just going to look up cards because that's a component that I want to make sure looks cool. And just see if there's any like nice. This one looks nice with this like lighting effects on it. You see how the corner here of the border is like gradiated, and it adds light to the top right of the corner as well. An Aurora card is what they're calling it. It's very cool. This one has a really cool hover effect. That was pretty sick. Look at that. But it's not going to be good for mobile first. It needs to be something that you can just see, right, without needing to click or do anything, because mobile, you won't know how to do that. This is cool. I've used this before, but I think that's close, right? That's actually pretty close for a design I quite like. Looks clean. Card is nice. Maybe I've removed the icon as a hover effect. Maybe we use this. I don't know. What do you guys think? Whoa, that's cool. Look at that. Some a lot of cool components here. I think that I'm gonna look on Dribble as well for some cards, because there's not much on 21st Dev at the moment. Or like, for example, that's super clean. Like, that's nice as well. Problem with some of these cards, it's like they're very purpose fit for the design. So it isn't really something I want to use. Because what is that? You have to be really careful sometimes with the designs you're taking from Dribble, because they might not actually be like something that's used in production. Oof. I like this there. That works very well with the image. You know what we could do actually? Is we could take one of these and we could customize it a bit more. Like, for example, this one I quite like. But again, it's very purpose fit for what it's showing. It's not really something generic. And a lot of these are like focused on desktop as well, or like a laptop, right? Not a website. This looks neat. Cool. Oh wait, there's a cool little hover to show the rest of it as well. Cool. Who knew I'd be spending 20 minutes on cards? I think this one might just be the easiest to grab. Fits our design, looks quite cool. Just copy the code for it. What we're going to do then is we're going to just check if our font got updated, which it did. If you remember, we were using Poppins. So now I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to create a new chat. I'm going to target our card, both the component and its CSS. I want to update the component to this one. Now, like, I'm going to be honest with you guys, 21st Dev is really good, but whatever the hell you do, do not click the copy prompt button because it just doesn't work. And I don't know why. Sometimes I think the stuff they put in the prompt doesn't help. Instead, you can come to the actual component and just copy the code. Now, sometimes you might need to copy both of these. But if you look in the first one, all we're doing is returning the component. So that's something that we don't need to worry about. But all of the styling and stuff is inside here. So I've just copied all this code. Now, Kaz is going to install the prerequisites, which is frame of motion. Once that's done, it's going to add the code as well. And we are still using JavaScript in this project, which I'm regretting. So I might, at the very end of the stream, just convert. Here's our color scheme. Nice. Look at this. Perfect. That's a whole color scheme done. I need to make sure all the components are updated to use it, but we can do that in a second. Coming up to the 1:30 mark, we've got an hour left. I think I'm focusing more on design and setting these guys up for success, and they can worry about all the features. So that should be good. Hopefully they'll love me for it as well, because I think I'm doing a lot of the hard setup stuff, and they'll just have like a nice design system, super base project, and everything connected, ready to go. But let's see what we can get done in the next hour. I'm hopeful. I do think before we start building anything else, though, we should probably convert this project to TypeScript before it gets too big. Why should we use TypeScript over JavaScript? Just the AI can catch errors a lot easier. A lot easier. So that got uploaded. What I'll do whilst Curse is running on the right-hand side and doing some of the more finicky stuff for the card, I'm just going to have Claude run in the background, and I'm going to ask it to just go and update all components with the new color scheme and ensure it's enforced across the app. Okay, whilst Claude's going to go through and do that, I'm going to just come and check this card that got added. Clean. Awesome. Let's create a secondary version that isn't raised and is more minimal. Also remove icons from the cards. I really don't like this like 3D-ish icon up there, so I want to make these. Looks cool too. Looks very cool. And the glow effect really matches well with the dark theme. Really makes the card pop quite a lot. Meanwhile, I've got Claude going through and just analyzing all of the project and then updating all of the colors, because you remember we added that color scheme, but our style guide still doesn't use it, right? Here we have the colors down here. These are all different. These are different. So let's get this added in.
So I'm having two agents do two things right now. One agent's going through and changing the entire color scheme, and the other is editing this card so that we can have a more minimal version as well. I want to give the guys like two card variants to work with, two button variants to work with, spacings, colors, everything they need to build the app from scratch and fast as well. So it's just one of those steps I like to take sometimes when it comes to making sure that we have a really good base to start from. And considering I'm the first dev, that's my role this time around. Cool. Looks like our buttons are starting to be updated with their colors. There we go. Look at that. Perfect. That means Claude's doing its job. There's going to be a conflict here because both of them are now editing the same component. Lol. So we'll wait for that to done. I might just interrupt Claude here and say skip the card. So it will still update everything, but it's just going to skip the card component. That's because when Cursor and Claude are both editing the same file at the same time, it causes conflicts. So I would rather that the agent in Cursor does the main bulk of updating the cards for this time around. And we just use the Claude agent to go through and make these little changes to our individual components. Looks like this is being edited well. All of our colors are being updated now. I'm not too sure I'm happy with these alerts. They could probably do a white text, so we'll add that back. But it does feel like an Android app now, a little bit. I might change the color scheme to something a bit more purpley as well. I quite like that color that we have on the cards right now. But let's see. I probably need to charge this laptop as well. I have a feeling this card component is huge, yeah, which is why maybe it's taking so long to edit. Oh well. Okay, looking good. Perfect. Let's get a button style that we're going to use throughout the app. Ooh, that's cool already. A glassy button. Problem with this sometimes is you can't copy the code, and I want to get pretty close to that glass button. So let's see if I can get something like that. Glass button, maybe. Lots of announcements and stuff, but nothing that we want. So let's just search for buttons. Clean. That's cool. Hmm. Right, that was a cool animation. So it's a little bit shiny, but it's not super shiny. Let's go back. Look for buttons again. Hmm. Again, we're doing mobile first, so very best that we pick a button that doesn't require any hover effects and just looks cool. That's nice, but again, not mobile first. Not mobile first. That's kind of cool. Whoa. And does it statically animate? Or do I have to hover my mouse over it? It's okay. Here we go. So do I need to hover this? Yes. I don't like that I have to hover it because it's meant to be a mobile first button, mobile first website. So whoa, very cool. Yeah, and too many hover effects. I just want a button that looks cool statically. Okay, I can't find anything here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Copen, which is another great. This is probably predates 21st step. Just gonna grab a charger as well, so I can make sure it's plugged in. Okay. Okay. Yep. Back chat. We are back. We are back. Alrighty. That's that plugged in. Now I got some power. How much time we got? 50 more minutes. Okay. So what was I looking for? A button. Was I saying, well, Copen's a really good place for finding stuff if you can't find any components in 21st Dev. Come back to the OG, which is Copen. It's a similar process to 21st Dev. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say mobile button first of all. Let's just see if we can find anything that looks good for mobile. This is very cool. It's a very 3D looking button, that's for sure. I actually really like this, weirdly. I wonder if we could convert it to a dark mode. Okay, let's try it. Has this finished generating? Nice. Claude finished as well. How much did that cost us in credits? 88 cents. Let's go. Okay. How are my cards looking now that we have updated everything to use the correct color scheme?
Minimal flat design and then a premium 3D interactive design. Okay, great. Let's change up our buttons. So we're going to create a new window. I'm going to target the button class and the CSS. I'm going to say, please add the following styling to the button, but flip the colors for our dark mode. Did I even tell it was 3D? No, but it picked up that the styling is 3D. That's quite funny. Interesting. So apparently it did it, but I'm not too impressed. Let's go back to CodePen and I'm going to look for something else, I think. Dark mode button. Oh, wait, that was cool. Whoa. I do like just like that button style in general. Let's keep going. I think I made the mistake of doing dark mode buttons, so it's just going to show me loads of toggles. Yep. Let's go to trending. GSAP animated text box. That looks cool. Whoa. Neon glass context menu. So we can find some button styles here. Trending of CodePen. Okay, what we'll do is we'll go to search again. We'll look for a button. Can we see trending buttons? Is that possible at all? Pens, projects, collections. I wish you could like sort better here. In the CodePen, a bubbly button. Button hover, neon button. Anime.js. Cool. Nice animation. Okay, maybe something a little bit better would be like a glow button to match our cards, because we've got very like glowy vibe going on. This is cool. What's this? Perfect. That's what we want. Okay. I want to use this glow star instead. Refactor the button component. So by telling like Claude to refactor, I find it's like a keyword sometimes that really helps with it understanding that yes, it can like destroy its current implementation. Sometimes when you give it a prompt like this, like I want to use Glowstar instead, it's just going to try and adapt its current component. But in this case, what I want to do is I want to like create a new component or refactor our current implementation so that it matches this CodePen as much as possible. And as a reminder, the CodePen looks a bit like this. So pretty clean little button. I like that the borders are like slightly animated as well, which helps makes it look interesting. But I think it's a cool style. Just thinking if there's anything I can get my Claude component to do. Yes, actually there is. So we have lots of duplicate cards on the style guide page. It's good just to show the main and the child. Whilst that's happening, I've got Claude cleaning up all these buttons. Then I need to say update style guide buttons. Now, remember I told you before, we don't want like two agents doing the same thing on a file, so we'll wait for Claude to finish up its little cleanup of the cards on the style guide page. Shouldn't take too long. And then I'll ask Cursor to just update the style guide to use our new buttons. Pushing on through. We have just under 45 minutes to finish up what we're doing here. We do have a super base, but I don't know if I have time to connect it, so I might just have to put that in my dev log.
We are with you. We've been working on it, keep it simple, because we have some ideas, but we don't know what we really want, so we prefer to ask you. So we can ask you how you feedback, and once you tell us what we have in mind, we can talk about that. We decided because
Cool. Now that Claude's done there, I'm just gonna update the style guide buttons so that they hopefully reflect this new style guide button that we got. Waiting for prompts is going to be the death of me one day, I think. Claude, let's try and make a login page with our new assets. I think it'd be really interesting to see if like my idea of creating a design system has worked in this case. Let's just make sure our buttons are added. Whoa, cool. Nice. So here I'm going to say replace all buttons with just one glow one and one ghost one. We just want two styles here. Also make sure both buttons use colors from our color scheme. Cool. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to set this project up so that the style guide does get used. So I'm going to create a new .cursor folder and then a rules folder and then a new file. We're going to call this design dot, I think it's MDC. Yes, okay. I'm going to set this up. So we're going to say agent requested. I'm going to put a description of when designing a new component, make sure to use the design rules from here. Sure to use these design rules. Cool. We'll get Cursor to create us a design rule from the style guide in a minute. So when the guys are creating stuff, it's always going to use the same components, I hope.
It's not confirmation. We have a different idea, but it's just, you know, to have something to show us we will be working on this. I'm working on the recent Lovable as well. We are
Perfect. So the button should look, yeah, it does. Not too sure about the color here, right? It looks a bit AIDS. Oh, it looks kind of cool still. I'll let somebody else clean that up. Form elements. So what we can say is, I'm going to say, based on the card designs, can you update the form elements component to be similar? Obviously not as complex, but still with a gradient and glare effects using our color scheme. Both are taking their time to generate, so we'll just have to wait in this case. So if you want a quick tip for using Claude Code, just hit Shift and Tab to turn on auto edit, so it just makes the changes without you having to accept them every time. This one has frozen, so I'm gonna stop it and we'll tell it to continue once Claude Code's done all of its changes. Nice, this is looking clean already, the gradient form. In the style guide page, remove both traditional inputs and traditional cards. Also, I don't see any colors or anything on the input form. Cool. We're getting there slowly but surely. Alrighty. So it's found the error, I think. So hopefully we'll get this fixed. And we should be in a good spot. There we go, a little bit more detail to the form. Great, I'm now going to tell Cursor to just finish off anything that it was doing in case it got cut off. Awesome. I will update the color scheme to a purple, I think, because it just fits so much nicer here. So maybe I can do that with Claude. Update the color scheme to use purples from the card that are still in the M3 frame of mind. Basically, my prompt here, I'm trying to tell the agent, like, update the color scheme to use purples from the card. They're still in the material free kind of frame of mind. Like, I want, you know, not just purple, but I want a range of palette that I can use. So it's going to do that, I think. In the meantime, we're also updating our glow buttons to make sure that they fit nicely. Oh, maybe I do like this green now. I'm not too sure. What do you guys think? I think I prefer the purple. So let's update this palette. Ooh, nice. I like that a lot more. A lot more. Purpling. This is gonna go nice. Nice. These could be a bit more muted, these alerts, I think, but they're getting there. Got our font, got our interactive glow button. Nice. These use a little bit of a gradient in the input as well. I'm happy with this, I think. So the final thing would be add all of our styling. Actually, first of all, let's just do a real consistency. So scan the style guide and ensure everything is consistent and set globally for when we want to start building the app. So I'll ask that to go through.
We have profiles, right? In profiles, we have something really similar.
So here it's like a little bit more of an expensive prompt, right? Because it's reading a lot of code, but I just want to make sure that the project's in a really good state when I give it to the guys. So it's just good to make sure that everything's set up so that it works globally. And then I'll show you a neat trick of why we did the style guide and why we spent so much time on the design first before we jumped into the project. Perfect. So Cursor identified that although our colors are set, they're not set globally and they're not integrated well with Tailwind. So we're gonna just make sure that that is the case when we upload this project to GitHub for the other devs to work on. I'm very happy with progress though. I feel like we have a super solid base to kind of go off of.
Looking way more similar to a landing page or website, so the user can play with that. The idea is to have different sections, and the user can customize where to place projects, where to place videos, etc. So I don't know what you think about that. I think that your feedback is really useful for us.
Huge edit here, so I'm not sure what it's doing, but we'll wait patiently. God help whoever has that pricing and all that stuff to this. I should probably give this access to
my boy, Dan, so he can get access to this in the future. Maybe I have to transfer it, we'll see. Okay. Well, the colors got changed again, which is weird. Is it moving them? Maybe it's moving all the colors to. It added a lot actually. Well, and now it's going to add some stuff to our tailwind config as well, which is cool. Yeah, buenos días, Jonathan. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Todo bien? All right, let's just wait for this tailwind update to go through. What I will do is I'll show you guys like why this style guide is cool, because using our style guide creates a login page with form and good UX principles. Now we're updating the tailwind config, so this is set like globally. I'm also going to come back to here, Control A, Control K, update to purple color scheme that is good for eyes on a black BG. So it very naughtily updated my greens to updated my purples to greens. So I'm just going to go back through and update this color scheme again using Claude's inbuilt code editor. We've also got an agent running updating our global CSS, and we've got an agent running that's also going to make a landing page based on our style guide. Sorry, a login page based on our style guide. Some big changes, so hopefully it's gonna make something nice for us, which is cool. Great, that's that done, I think. We're still updating? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Coming through, how long have I got? Half an hour, nice. Let's keep going. Okay, cool. That's that done. That's the style guide done. There's our purple color scheme, perfect. Now I just want to check out the login page that it made based on our design. Components, login. I'll just say make sure it's added to routing so I can access via /login. We can go to the page and check it out because it made the component, but it didn't actually add it to the app. Style guide is being updated now to properly contain all of our stuff, which is cool. And to make everything global as well. I'm happy with the colors, I'm happy with everything. Happy with the look. Agent was going so long with its pause, so let's resume it. And make sure that everything gets added.
Clean, this has come together now. I am very happy with the design style that's gone forward. The only thing I'm not happy about is all the typography is now the same size. So we got to fix that. Ah, and here is our login page. Sick. Looks awesome. And it used all our design assets, which I'm happy about. Got a glow button in here. Continue with Facebook or Google. Let's stop that. Remember that design rule? Add all of our design guides to this rule file. Keep it extremely simple. It's meant to guide the AI when it comes to creating components. So I'm going to do that here. This helps the other devs, right? Because then whenever they're creating components, we can use this design rule to make sure that it all gets followed, especially when they're making stuff. It's gonna create a design.md file for us, which is Markdown. I'll copy that and put it into the rule. Here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this and put it in here. Great. And we can save that. Then what you can do is you can go to your login component and you can say, using our design.mdc rule, improve the design, more elegant, deter Ram's principles, focus on just a login with Instagram or login with Spotify button. So if you remember from the app that we chose, we're going to be doing a if you remember, we decided to do event vibe matcher. They're going to be using Spotify and their Instagram account to get suggestions for events that they're going to go to. So in reality, we don't want them to create user accounts or anything like that. We want to make it really simple for them to get into the app. In this case, I want to just have like a login with your Instagram button or a login with your Google button. Sorry, login with Instagram or login with Spotify. I shouldn't be prompting and talking at the same time. Let me just tell my team to keep it down. You can also see all the dogs we were sharing today. This did a good job. I quite like it. So let's center the buttons and ensure we our styles from @StyleGuide. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a second rule, but this one will always be attached. So this is use design.mdc. We're going to always attach it, or maybe we'll auto attach it. No, let's always attach it. And it's just going to say, make sure to use cursor rule design.mdc if you are making any new components. Follow global styles and use global styles when possible. Okay, we'll save that. So basically, whenever I run a prompt now, it's going to add this rule file, right? And if it decides that it needs to figure out what our design style is, it's going to then do an agent request and request the design file. That's the theory anyway, but that should work. I've always had a lot of success with design files because they really help with ensuring that your app stays within a certain thing. I'm just going to tell this core code guy that my text font sizes seem to be all the same and there's no hierarchy globally for diff font sizes. So I'll let Claude figure that one out because as you can see, all fonts at the moment are exactly the same size. When in our style guide, we did have hierarchy, but since we made an update recently, as with all vibe coding, it's made all of the titles the same size. So let's figure out why that is. So again, because we were implementing our own design system, we need to adapt it to Tailwind and make sure that it integrates well with it, which is what Claude's now going to do. In the meantime, we can check our login page to see the changes that are being made by Cursor. Cool, looks like the Claude agent fixed our font styles, which is perfect. This looks so much better now already. Perfect. Yeah, you even added some nice micro interactions for the buttons, which is cool. So I'm just going to tell Claude Code to just center the buttons because it's faster. Sometimes in Cursor. Oh, I added some code here as well. Cool. This is looking really good now. I'm very happy with the design. There we go. All our headings are correct. So I know that the guys are going to have elements to use. We've got some interactive glow buttons, some cards for them to use, some indicators. I think we can update the alerts for sure. I'm actually going to run another Claude code. So I have two agents running at once. For this agent, I want to say at style guide, and then at style guide again, and then update the alerts to a cleaner design. Right now the colors are contrasting heavy with the black BG. Great, apparently my login button was added as well, so let's go back to that and just double check. Looks like that got centered, perfect. And you can connect from there as well. Mock the login. So when the user clicks login with Instagram, it takes them to a multi-step form similar to Spotify Wrapped. I wonder if there's any training data in Claude Force on it. They'll know what Spotify Wrapped is. Let's see. So here we go. Let me first check the design rules to ensure consistency of your project styling. That's because I told it when you're creating new stuff, you should check out my styles. So it's done that as well, which is really cool. I want to edit the alert. Let's go back and check the style guide whilst that's happening. Looking good, looking good. That's nice as well. They look much better color-wise now. Make sure they're using our global color scheme still, because these are colors that aren't within the color system that we set up. So I just want to make sure that there's some consistency there. For some reason this stops. I think there's a bug where when I run Claude, the cursor agent stops for some reason. 15 minutes though to finish strong on this live stream. We've been going for 2 hours, which is crazy to think about. But we've made so much progress in 2 hours. I'm really happy. You know what? These are great. They would just look a little bit better if the colors were a little bit. So remove white border in place of a darker one. Remove emojis. Use more muted colors. So let that little edit go through. Total spend was $2.10 on the other agent. We can close that terminal. I'm going to stop this and I'm going to type continue. Because it looked like it got stopped for whatever reason. There you go, that's better alerts. Yes, they're black. Yes, they're simple, but that's all we need for this app. We don't need anything complex. I'm going to be pretty happy if it figures out the design here. Uses our elements in this onboarding form, because that means it was a success setting up our design system. So let's see if we can get that working. Should probably plug this bad boy in, so I don't die on you. Ooh. Great. $20 officially on the old counter of the live stream. At some point, we're going to need to start writing our dev log and get this to the other devs. So let's just double check that my design system is working. So we've got some sort of cohesiveness, and then I think it's going to be so nice to hand this to the other devs because they're going to have a great start. And I'm already done most of the front end for them. So they're going to need to add login, Superbase, user accounts, which I've already started setting up in Superbase. So it should be good. Cool. Looks like it's got added. So if I click continue with Instagram, yeah, it puts me in the multi-step form. It's not used some of our components though, which I'm a bit mad about. So make sure I'll create a new window. Once this is done though, there we go. And let's say for the onboarding form, use our design rules to make sure it matches the design system we have in place. I think when the agent stopped earlier and I asked it to continue, it forgot to get the design rule. Here we go, got the design rule. Perfect. So it's gonna apply our color, apply our surface levels, follow our spacing system, use our button variants that we had, and apply the elevations and shadows as well. So really useful design rules, if I can ever tell you. This is cool though, Taylor Swift, Harry. Nice. This is kind of where it's at. I just want to get the style to look a lot more like what we have across the app. And then I think we should be in a good spot. Update the copy. So I'm just giving context to Claude here about what this onboarding thing. We suggest events that match the music taste. They can book the events or save to their account. Mock front end for now. We won't make API calls or save this. Okay. Whilst Claude is doing that, let's check out the design. Yeah, it's using our fonts now, which is good, and our font sizing, which I'm happy about. Still hasn't used our buttons, but that's okay. We can fix it. I mean, it's easy to think about how like I could build this all myself in a day. Because now that we have the design system, the rest of the components come together pretty easily. I mean, you guys saw that I spent 2 hours mostly on the design, but now that that's done, you can see here. So I noticed that our buttons aren't being used globally, which they need to be. So I'm going to make sure that's an update I make before it closes down. 10 more minutes, I think. How long have we been streaming for? An hour and 44. So we have about 15 minutes left before I have to close this down. Here's our button to connect our Spotify. Nice. So I'll click that. Analyzing your music taste. Great. Here we go. I really like Tame Impala, apparently. Danceability, energy. Woo, then here's the event. Sick. So I can click book now and book this. I can also save them if I want to. Great. And I'm all set. 3 events booked, 3 events saved. This is basically our app with no functionality. Okay, let's just put that in. And we can also skip as well. So we'll click continue Instagram, connect our Spotify, your music profile, events for you, and then you're all set. And then you click get started and it'll take that to login. Great. So missing a lot of the back-end functionality, but the front end is there. So I think this gives a really good idea of what we want to do. Let's just make sure that the buttons So I just want to make sure that our buttons are updated so that they fit. Here's the connect with Spotify one, which is cool. And it's going to make sure all our other buttons are using the same style. And we don't have any green buttons. Bit broken the front end, but most of it's out. Perfect. It's using all our colors now as well from the colorscape, which is great. I'm really happy with this. Okay, that's it. Wow, what have we done? Okay, let's do a little recap. So let's do a little side by side. Do a half screen. Perfect. And we can see my screen share as well. Okay, so let's talk about what we did today. When I first started this project, I was given an empty GitHub repo and a couple of ideas inside an idea list on what we should make. Inside ChatGPT, I asked it to do two things for me for this project. The first was to go online and do some research about which idea would be the easiest to go to market with and have the most variety. We found that actually, from my research, the top pick for this would be Event Vibe Matcher, where basically you can log in with your Instagram or Spotify profile and be able to get recommendations for events that are new. It felt like the lowest lift and people already have that data, so we're just hooking into their social accounts that they've already set up. I was then looking on Mobbin and I like the UI UX flow of it being a bit like a multi-step form story, where you log in with your account, it shows you some interesting things about your data, and then afterwards it suggests events. We went to ChatGPT again to help us put together a color scheme and style guide. And then I spent most of the stream just making sure that our style guide looks really good for the other devs. Now we have a design system that these guys can use to continue building out the app without having to worry about the UI because it's already set and done. So we can make sure that there's consistency across the app. I then showed you how we can use that design system to start building out our app, which was actually 10 times faster once we had a consistent style. We got the basics of the flow down with some mock data so the guys can kind of see what I was going for here, with the ability to either book or save as we go through and then complete the onboarding. So the other devs are going to have to fix this up and add to it, but I'm really happy with how far we got overall. So if you guys would like to see more of this series and what we're going to be doing, you can go and find me on YouTube. It's Harry Mackay Roper. On there, we'll be posting all of the episodes, so you can watch one by one, and then we'll also post the final video where we do a recap of everything as well. Here's the final step of this series for me. So once more, we'll share the screen. I'm going to close Claude. 56 cents on that one, great. Let's close this as well. So my final step is actually to give this to the next developer. So I'm going to do git add, and then what we're going to need to do is come to the README, and we need to make a summary of what we did. Where is that README dot? This is the wrong one. Let's close that. README.md. Did it replace our original README? I'm going to copy that back. Copy, place it back. Great. So we've got the GitHub repo. We haven't posted it. Idea list. So what I'm going to do is, and what do I need to do? Your name and the date. Great. And then a thing you added, thing you updated, thing you removed. Okay. I worked on the core idea of the app. In research document, I put
what ChatGPT suggested as the best app idea to go to market quickly and also virality. I liked the idea of using people's data that exists already and tell them some interesting insights about their Spotify/Instagram account, and then show them events that match. I came up with a UX flow similar to Spotify. So added style guide, login page demoing style guide, React app in JavaScript utilizing Tailwind, JSX, set up global design system based on components in style guide page, added cursor rules, so whenever you make new components, it should be in the app style. What else do I need to do? I also created the Superbase project. Ask for invite with profiles table already set up and email verification disabled. What else did I do? Missing, just some ideas for further devs. Proper login, proper fetching of data, proper suggestion of events. Basically, the whole app flow, lol, I did the design, please use it. Great. Okay, that's the README updated. So let's go to terminal. Oh, probably shouldn't have done this. Oh wait, it was correct. I just had to close this, git push. There we have it, guys. That is it. So I will pass this on to the next dev. We have 5 more still going. Here's the README of my devlog lists. So if you would like to follow along with this project, you can go to the website, 6devs1project.com. You can see all of the latest episodes, as well as what our mission is, what the project ideas are, and the devs working on it as well. Just me for the beginning, but we've got 5 more developers to come along, which will be really good. You can see when we're planning to do all of our streams down here below as well. So please let us know how we can improve this series. And I'd like to thank all of you who did tune in today for following along. And yeah, if there's anything that we could build to improve the series, do let us know. But apart from that, it's been great building with you for the last 2 hours, and I will see you real soon.